Welcome to Genesis Engineers Academy. In this video, I am going to discuss on resolution and composition of a system of forces. So, resolution of a force is the process of splitting the force into rectangular components. So, it is resolving the forces on x-axis and y-axis. Vectorially, a force is represented by this notation and it will be written like this one. So this is vectorial form and the magnitude of this is root of fx whole square plus fy whole square. Okay, so but generally, so without notation, we can also resolve this inclined force F into Fx, that is equal to F cos theta, Fy, that is equal to F sin theta. So this F cos theta is the horizontal component of the force F. F sin theta is the vertical component of this. With reference to this angle, that is the direction of the force. Now, what is the composition of the force? So, it is simply finding a single force called resultant represents the number of forces acting on the same plane. That we call it as composition of forces. So the same thing I have explained. So now you have to start with this one. Fx is the component, Fy is the component on y-axis. Then F is the resultant summing up and representing the. So like that you can also find resultant. So, resultant of several concurrent forces are and also coplanar forces. So, what is meant by concurrent? Concurrent means if the several forces meeting at one point and are several forces originating from the same point or several places meeting at the same point, we call it as a concurrent. And if their line of action lies on the same plane, we can call that as a coplanar. That means same plane. Okay, so you can take this screen as say plane and the table will become another plane. So in the screen you can also have the same plane. The line of action of F1 and the line of action of F2, F3, F4 lies on the same plane. That is why these F1 to F4 are called coplanar forces and they are originating from the same point O. So that is why they are called as concurrent forces. So it is our duty to find out what are the sum of the forces or horizontal components on x-axis. That is represented by, that is sigma fx, and some of the vertical components that is represented by fy, and to find out the magnitude of the resultant, or we will use this formula, that is root, that is sigma fx whole square plus sigma fy whole square, and this is used to find the direction of the thing. Suppose sigma fx is in this direction and sigma fy is in this direction and the resultant will be in between that and the angle is alpha. This is the resultant. So like that you have to find out depending upon the conventions we used. So we will solve some of the problems. So first I will concentrate on this figure. So this gives us what are the components, what force it is acting, And what is the thrust at the point A in the lamp post shown in the figure? So this is the thrust point that is acting at the post, and this is the force acting at an angle that is 60 degrees from the horizontal. So this force will have two components, that is along this direction and along this direction. So this is inclined force. So after resolving this force into x component and y component, or horizontal component and vertical component, this becomes 1 cos 60 degrees kilonewton, and this becomes 1 sin 60 kilonewtons. So he is asking about that is in the y direction. So that the answer is sin 60, that is root 3 by 2. So that comes about 0.66 kilonewtons. This is the answer. So like that you have to resolve of this one. But one thing, so the only inclined force to some axis will have both the components, right? Next one is the force F such that both the bars AC and BC as shown in the figure are identically loaded is AC and BC are equal in length. So suppose we wanted to know, so ABC is a triangle, in this it is 60, and it has given BC is equal to AC. That means if AC becomes BC means these angles must be equal. So if these angles must be equal, so this must be 60 degrees and 60 degrees. Okay, so this is 60. So then it is ABC. So if I apply this force, or due to this force, okay, due to this force, this angle may be changed. So to keep the angles constant, you have to apply a force like this one. So what force will keep the angles same, so that AC is equal to BC? So you have to resolve equivalent to this force, right? So if you resolve this force in this direction, so that will equals this one, this thing, that is to keep the system in equilibrium, right? So the horizontal component of this is 100 cos 45 degrees. So 100 cos 45 degrees means 100 by root 2. So that comes about to 7.6 newtons. Okay, so it must be newtons, I think. Okay, it is 70.7. Okay, numerically it is equal. So you got my point. So only thing is you have to know the angles first. Okay, I have made one that is video on angles. You can also do that. Watch that video to have the more knowledge on angles. Otherwise you cannot do. They will find out this one. Okay, so this is about next one is for the loaded system depicted or assumed in the figure, the force induced in the string AB is. So AB, what is the force acting on that AB? That is due to force mg, that is the weight. Okay, so if I draw a horizontal, that is a line on this one. Okay, so next this is I call one axis, and I extend this line. Okay, so opposite angles are equal, that is it is theta. Then it is horizontal, it is vertical. So this angle becomes 90 minus theta. So I wanted to have this one. Okay, so I will take this as the reference like x-axis, and perpendicular to that is y-axis. Then this mg will become an inclined force. Then if I resolve this mg into this axis, so mg, it becomes mg cos 90 minus theta. That has becomes sin theta. So the force acting in this direction is mg sin theta, and in this direction it is mg cos theta. Okay, so don't take this one, because due to this it is a vertical force, it will not have any force on this axis. So vertical force will not have any horizontal force, horizontal force will not have any vertical force. Only inclined force will have components. Component is different from force. Force component and the force. So the answer must be mg sin theta. So now we will solve a bigger problem, that is to understand fully what is the system of forces. Here on the same coplanar concurrent forces, we have 4 forces, 150 newtons, 200 newtons, 80 newtons, 180 newtons acting at different angles. So it is our duty to find out, so that is components of these 4 forces. So we have to draw the x-axis and then y-axis, and we have to resolve the components of for this one. So if I take this one, this is one x component of this force and y component of this force. So this angle is 30 degrees. Then it becomes 150 cos 30 degrees, and this becomes 150 sin 30 degrees. Okay, so this is horizontal component of this force, and this is vertical component of this force. Now if I move on to this force, so this is the angle 30 degrees, and this becomes 200 cos 30 degrees, and this becomes 200 sin 30 degrees. So this is vertical component, this is horizontal component. And if I move on to this one, this is another, that is the angle is that is from horizontal, and it is also 60 degrees, and this becomes 80 cos 60 degrees, and this becomes 80 sin 60 degrees. And if I move on to this one, I'll comes about 180, and this angle is 45 degrees, 180 cos 45 degrees, and 180 sin 45 degrees. Now we have to apply the sign conventions, and this is positive x-axis, this is negative x-axis, this is positive y-axis, this is negative y-axis. If the direction of the forces is towards that is upwards, then you can take it as a positive. Now we will find out sum of the horizontal or x-axis. So this is the force, this is 150 cos 30 degrees, and if I wanted to give, that is sign, it is on the y direction, that is positive x direction, that is why it is positive. So it is over, I have added, and this one is that is in the negative x-axis direction, this is that one, that is why I have to use negative side, that is 200 cos 30 degrees. So that is also over, and we have to move on to this one. This is also towards left, that is on negative x-axis. So it is minus 80 cos 60 degrees. Okay, so next one is this direction, and this 4 component, and this is positive because it is in the positive x direction. So that is 180 cos 45 degrees. 4 forces, 4 components are over. So you have to check once again, and you get the value for this value, sum of the horizontal components. Like that you have to find out that is sum of the vertical components. So this is 150, that is sine 30, that is positive, and this is also positive. Okay, this is 200 sine 30. Okay, so this is these two are also over, and it is in the negative direction, that is downwards, or negative y-axis, that is 80 sine 60 degrees. So that is over, and the next one is minus 180 sine 45 degrees. Okay, so this is also on the negative y direction. So you have to find out the value. So that is over. Next, you have to find out the magnitude of this one. So what is the magnitude of this one? So that is resultant. Magnitude of the resultant is equal to root over sigma fx whole square plus sigma fy whole square. Next, resultant direction. Direction means it is the angle from any axis, generally from x-axis. Okay, I will explain these things. That is about if sigma fx is positive, that is towards right, and sigma fy is also positive, then the resultant will be in between, that is alpha. Okay, so that is one situation. This is the resultant. If fx is sigma fx is towards right and it is downwards, that means sigma fy comes about negative, then this will be in the downward direction. So that has to be mentioned while you solving. Otherwise, you won't get marks for that one. So that concept of fundamental meaning. So this is the resultant of this one. Okay, so this is in the fourth quadrant. So the angle, you can say, if it is minus 30 degrees, so suppose alpha is equal to minus 30 degrees, means it has to be in this direction, and you have to mention from this direction, that is 30. Okay, if it is plus 30, that is it is in the anti-clockwise direction. You have to mention 30 here. Like that you have to mention. Okay, so it will be, you can also, from this angle it is 330. From this it is 330. From this point it is 30. You can also mention like that. So don't get confused with this. So the final that is your intelligence, and whether you are having fundamentals or not will be observed while that is representing the direction of the result. So simply don't use this one, alpha is equal to tan inverse sigma fy by sigma fx. So I have seen so many students often get confused to use this one. Okay, so after finding all these things, so you have to apply that is conventions of positive, negative, rightward, leftward, upward, downward, all these things. Okay, good luck. Thank you for watching this video. If you are not so far not subscribed, please subscribe and also press the bell button, but don't forget to leave comment section. Thank you.